Danny Gilfillan for Boxing News, delighted to be joined by esteemed journalist Jeff Powell MBE of the Daily Mail. Jeff, we've just had the conclusion of the Oleksandr Usyk Daniel Dubois 2 press conference. Bit of needle, perhaps not as much as at the launch press conference a few months ago. What did you make of it? What's your read on the fight?
It was a pretty formal affair by boxing standards, and if you think back to Tyson Fury standards, this was a couple of pussycats eyeing each other up across the podium. What did I make of it? I was somewhat pleased to see that that Daniel wasn't quite as animated and hyper as he was at the workout last night. He was expending a lot of hyper energy at the workout and making huge, brash, bold claims. It's good he's growing into that confidence, but I wouldn't want him to be doing that for the 48 hours before the fight. So I thought he was confident enough today, and I preferred the more composed and restrained way he handled himself. Of course, he's a master of these occasions. He plays mind games without you knowing they're mind games, and the subtlety of the way he goes about it was, as ever, extremely intelligent and clever.
You mentioned the confidence of Daniel Dubois, and that's something we see referenced a lot. He's obviously on a very good run at the minute. Have we saw enough from Daniel in the ring and outside of the ring to make you think we're going to see perhaps a different outcome to when they first met?
Well, he in the intervening fights, obviously knocking out Joshua in spectacular fashion would boost anybody's confidence, but we won't see Usyk walk onto the sucker punches the way that AJ did. He took a lot of heavy blows from Hrgovic to suggest that he is able to take big punches, which wasn't in real doubt, but it was good to see him prove it against a serious heavyweight puncher. So that was good. Against his American loony that he fought, it did require his father to be brought to the corner by Frank Warren to tell him that he had to step on the gas or he was probably going to get outpointed. But he responded to that, and it's possibly a good thing that Stan will be in or near the corner on Saturday night. He is such an important father, not only father figure, but a manager and a believer in his son, that I think it's good his voice will be there.
There is a narrative that if this fight goes past the first 5 or 6 rounds, that Daniel's chances quickly start to diminish. Do you subscribe to that, Jeff? Do you think Daniel Dubois has to stop Oleksandr Usyk early, or the fight gets away from him?
As an Englishman, I'm hoping Daniel does it. As someone with a less patriotic eye on the scene, I think if he's going to win it, he has to do it early. I think he's got to hurt him really badly and get him out of there. The longer it goes, the more problematic the fight becomes. Usyk never stops downloading information into this computer between the ears, and the data from the first fight was there already. He'll have watched him a lot, and he'll even start learning more of how much he's improved in the first few rounds. It's not because I think Daniel will fade, although stamina is probably not his strongest suit, but I don't see it as a great problem. It's that Usyk gets better all the time. Each successive one of these huge fights he's had to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, cruiserweight and heavyweight. Every time you see him, there's something about him which is better, that he's improved. And he will even improve in the opening rounds of this fight. That's where I think that problem lies. If he can get the job done, it has to be early.
If Daniel was to pull this off and become undisputed by defeating Oleksandr Usyk, in your time covering the sport, Jeff, where would that rank amongst the wins from British fighters? You look at Hatton's win over Zhu, Hunnigan over Curry. Would it be up there with those for you?
Yes, it would. It would supersede them, because you are here fighting the established master of the current generation of fighters. I mean, Zhu and Curry were good fighters, but they were not of this man's stature. I mean, Usyk is one of the most brilliant technicians of all time. Is he one of the greatest heavyweights of all time? I think he probably would deserve to be in the top dozen, probably, already. If he were to do it again Saturday night, he climbs even higher up the scale. So if you beat that icon, then it is perhaps the greatest performance by a British fighter in the ring.
And if the inverse is to happen, as the majority of pundits and certainly the bookmakers expect, and Oleksandr Usyk is victorious, is there anything left for him to achieve, in your opinion, Jeff? Would you like to see him potentially carry on? He showed no real signs of slowing up thus far, or would you like him to sail into the sunset with an unblemished, perfect professional career?
We were chatting to him yesterday, and he made it clear he would have at least 2 more fights, and he also made it clear here today that he's not just fighting for himself or for his titles, or even only for his family. He's still fighting for Ukraine. That is another problem, the one of motivation, which Dubois has to overcome. He will not surrender. He will not lose this fight unless it's impossible for him to win. He is fighting still very much for his country, and he will carry on doing so for as long as he can.
And while I've got you, Jeff, I just want to ask you about one thing away from Saturday night, is the sort of doubt that now appears to be cast over a potential rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. It had been announced the fight was going to take place on September 20th, but now we're seeing reports very much to the contrary. It seems like stipulations over weight and rehydration clause is proven to be a decisive factor in the rematch maybe not taking place. What's your view on all that? Do you want to see a rematch between Chris and Conor, and under what terms, weight-wise?
Well, first of all, I mean, it was a sort of fun bun fight, the first fight. It was not a great boxing match. I mean, we should try and get our kind of a view of that set. It was a bit like seeing 2 so tough kids go out in the school playground, and there were more slaps than clean punches. It was fought a furious lick, but there wasn't much noble art or technical boxing about it. And the London boys had a great night out, which is what it was for. A good few beers and watch a good old sort of a street brawl. Do I want to see it as a great fight? No. Am I concerned about the weight clause? Yes, because it was too much for Eubank. He did well to get through it. I'm not sure he's wise to put himself through it again. He thought he could make that weight and the dehydration clause beforehand, and he found out how difficult that was on the night and the morning after. I'm a bit surprised that the British Boxing Board of Control are again giving the nod to the same stipulations. If I were Eubank or his father, I think I wouldn't take it. I'd say I've won that. You go and find yourself something else to do.
Well, Jeff, really appreciate you giving me some of your time. Enjoy the rest of the fight week here in London. Big one, nice to meet you.
See you around.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much, Jeff.